Okay, guys. So I've been wrestling with where to go with this channel. And obviously, my first video outlined about certain areas that I am struggling with, challenges I'm experiencing, and that I'm on a mission to overcome those and help people do the same along the way. And whilst I'm still figuring some stuff out, because I don't know the answers, that's the whole point of this. This is for you to tag along with me and hopefully you'll get some value along the journey. But what I wanted to share is what I've learned along the way. And I've learned a lot to get me to where I am right now. And it's almost like been a series of stacking habits throughout my life that have optimized my health, my relationships, my purpose in life. And these things that I've learned all kind of, I call it the 4 layers of strength. Okay, and I have kind of stole this from one of my mentors a little bit, but I've redefined it in a way I think is way more easier to understand for most people, and it applies to everybody. And obviously, I've built a gym because I care about physical well-being, physical health. So that, I believe, is the first step. And the reason I call them layers is because I think that the layers should stack onto each other, and that's when they compound, and that's when true growth happens. But each layer, each segment needs attention for us to actually develop ourselves as who we are. So what are these layers? There are 4 layers, and I'm going to go over them in a lot more detail in probably my next video so I can really define them and we can dive into them. But the journey, what I'm going to share with you over this next, series of videos is going to outline what I've learned to strengthen each layer and each quadrant. So they start with layers, you stack them above each other because I believe that everything starts with physical strength, and I'll explain why very soon. But once you've kind of built foundations on each layer, they all need attention constantly, because if you don't water these gardens, the weeds will grow and the growth will begin to wither and die. So it's a never-ending thing, but I call it habit stacking, because once you find something that works and it is enhancing your life and making you better as a person, it will become your new normal. And we level out, and then what's next? We stack something on top, because we can't attack everything at once. It just doesn't work that way. It's too difficult to, as you probably know, to take on too many things at once is very difficult to manage. So that's why I call it habit stacking. And each segment is basically defined by, I'd call it strength. So strength in each area of these 4 quadrants, these 4 layers. That's the direction this whole channel is going to go down. So the 4 layers, the 4 segments are, you've got physical, you've got mental, you've got emotional, you've got spiritual. And these all apply to every one of us, and they're kind of like 4 psyches, 4 parts of our character, which is what defines who we are. So physical strength is super important. It's what I started with. It's what I fell in love with. And I've seen the value of what physical strength can do to somebody's life. And this is why we do what we do here at Fortitude Gym. We often get people who come in who are out of shape, and seeing, someone go through one of our programs, for example, and when they say they pick up a weight that they never thought they'd be able to do, or they perform an exercise, or you see the progression in their fitness and their performance, once they start to realize that then changes, they ascend to the next layer, if you like, which if you change someone's physical strength, it changes their mindset, because they now have a bit more self-belief. Because a lot of us are suffering about our bodies and our health, and it's the way that we we perceive ourselves, the way we look at ourselves, judge ourselves. And a lot of us we're not very nice to ourselves. So when you see somebody do something that they didn't think they could do, it creates that self-reaffirming belief that they are better than they thought they could be, and then it levels them up inside their own mind. And that's when the mental health starts to get involved with this, and that's when mental strength starts to get affected. And then if you affect somebody's mental state, thoughts turn to feelings, right? And feelings are what create our actions. So if you strengthen someone's mental state, it then creates a positive emotion. They're actually feeling better about themselves, which makes them feel more positive about the world. So then their emotional strength is increased. And then that transcends once again to what I call spiritual strength. And I don't want you to kind of like get lost on like hippie woo-woo spiritual stuff. This is more of a less tangible thing, but it kind of defines purpose, who you are, your soul, meaning of life. That's where I'm going with this when I say spiritual. Right? I think it's important to have a spiritual aspect when it comes to if you have a religion or whatever it is you believe, like that helps you objectify the direction of that spiritual direction. But it's kind of exploring something that is bigger than just you, your flesh, meaty body, your vessel, if you like. It opens more opportunities, more possibilities of who you can become. So it's definitely shouldn't be neglected. So what I'm going to do is explain over the next few videos what I've done throughout my life to kind of optimize each segment. And I've learned a lot along the way. And some of the things are probably going to be a little bit out there, but I think you're going to enjoy what it is I've got to share with you. And once I've kind of give you everything that I know and shared everything that I do, some of these disciplines and habits I've been doing for years and years, and they've never left me. And this is what I'm calling about habit stacking. And it's only going to make you stronger in these areas of life. So if you do want to become stronger physically, stronger mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then I'd love to have you along for the journey, because that's the direction we're going. And this isn't kind of like me teaching you. I'm just sharing with you what I've learned along the way. And I definitely don't have it all figured out. And that's the whole point of this. So we're going to do it together. And then once I've come up to date with you about where I am, what I've learned, and shared everything that I have and I know, all the resources, tips and tricks that have helped me throughout my life, then we're going to battle the next challenge, which is, the next level for me. 32 now, with 2 kids, wife, lots of responsibilities, and a mission. All right, and it's balancing all that stuff around me to keep moving forward with the mission and ultimately help people grow stronger in every area of their life so I can enhance their lives, and I feel like that makes me happy inside. So it's a mission worth pursuing for me. Anyway, so in the next video, I'm going to break down this whole format so you can better understand it and you can better follow it and see how your life may apply to this format. And then we can see what practices, what disciplines we can probably incorporate into your life, and we can grow stronger together. All right, that's where we're going. Hope to see you along for the ride.